Hello and welcome back. I kind of want to say because this is the follow-up to the first my initial thoughts on the Cannondale Synapse. So this is a follow-up to that. I've been riding the bike for more or less a year now. So I think I have a pretty good idea about the bike, what I like about it, what I think maybe could be improved on the platform, and kind of who it's for. And this video is also a little prep video, because tomorrow I'm going to do an attempt to ride around Zealand as we did in Randonneurs 2 back in 2022. This time I just want to do it faster, and I kind of have an idea. I wanted to do it from sunrise to sunset. And at the moment here in Denmark it's midsummer, so that's about, I think it's like 17 and a half hours in total that I have. So basically I have to average around 32k an hour and only do 30 minutes of braking or not moving if I want to make it in time. So I think what I'm gonna do is swap out a few parts for kind of to optimize the setup for tomorrow, and then I also want to, as I do that, kind of go over the setup I have now, which is how I've used the bike for I think this is kind of my end destination for my Synapse setup, and this is kind of how I've been using the bike lately, which I think is how it's kind of the setup this bike is best with, which is kind of like an all-road setup. So I can just quickly go over it. I have a mix of red and force parts on, and basically I had a red group set playing, and so I swapped out the crankset to 165 crank arms and rear derailleur, and I think that's probably the only red parts I actually put on there. But the wheels are also different from the stock ones. These are Scope R6A, which is like an all-road version of the 6. They're 65 millimeters deep, so right on the UCI limit, although I don't do any UCI races, so I couldn't really care less. But if you were to do a UCI event, then you wouldn't be able to do it. Currently I'm running the Conti GP5000 ASTR, the same tires that we're using going from Stockholm to Bergen. And I think it's kind of like the optimal tire for this bike, because you can pretty much do everything. On these rims it blows out to 37.5 millimeters, so I've been using it for like fast group rides, and then also when I've just been out doing some training rides, I've been kind of just, whenever I wanted to, I could just go in a forest path or whatever if you get a bit tired of just road riding. And I think that's been a really sweet setup. And the bar I also swapped to a Zip SL80 race bar, 36 millimeters, but it measures like 35 center to center, so it's quite narrow. I think it's also UCI, or that is UCI illegal, at least with how I've set up the hoods now. And then I running the S-Works Power Mirror Evolution Yeah, I haven't really made my mind up on it yet, but I feel like it's very sensitive to the angle. First, I was very very much not happy with it, especially since it's fucking expensive. So you kind of when you sit on it the first time, you expect it to be like sitting on a cloud basically. But yeah, so but I've kind of gotten to we've become better friends. But I think basically it's good for a quite aggressive position, but if you sit in a more relaxed position, it's kind of like too wide in a way in this area. So it's like designed for your pelvis to be tilted quite a lot forward. So when I'm in the drops and riding more aggressively, it's very nice. But when I'm sitting in the tops and just doing like normal riding, then it's a bit different. But I'll keep this on for tomorrow, the 500k. And other than that, I'm gonna swap out the tires because these are like rolling resistance wise, these are like, I think it's around 16 watts each. And I'm gonna swap them out to the GP 5000 STR 30 mil tires, which they have I think it's about 10 watts each. So that should save me around a total of 10 watts of rolling resistance, which is quite significant when you're gonna do like 500k and it's just gonna be 99% road. So I don't really need the extra protection, hopefully. Of course, I can be unlucky. And other than that, I'm gonna swap out the chainring to a single 52 tooth chainring. It's a 46 now, and I can't remember the inner one is like a 33, I think. I think for all-road riding, also gravel, I've been riding gravel on this bike over the winter and also done some gravel races on it. There I've been using like a 48, the Tufo gravel Thundero HD, 48 mil in the front, and then I did that for one race just because I wanted to, first of all, I wanted to test out to see how it was with a 48 in front. But over the winter, I've just been running 40 mil Conti TerraSpeed on the reserve wheels that came with the bike, and they measure like 42, which is the maximum in the back. And I've been using those tires over the winter just for gravel riding mostly, but also for the occasional road training ride. And that's been working out very, very good. But it was just for this specific race. I knew there were some single track sections, and it would be nice to have the extra cushion and grip of a 48 in the front, which is possible on this bike. And I think a lot of people are like, what is it? Is it a all-road bike? Is it a road bike? Is it a gravel bike with a road bike label? What is it? I think it is a road bike first and foremost, but it's a very, very versatile road bike. And I think I could just have this bike and pretty much do everything I wanted or ask from a bike. I think it's a great one bike setup. If you're not going to ride super gnarly gravel, then you'd be perfectly fine with this bike. Throw some 40 mil TerraSpeeds on and call it a day, or whatever tire you prefer. I think one thing I didn't really touch that much on last time is the smartsense system, and now I've been using it more. Of course, we used it on Stockholm to Sweden. That ride, and was pretty nice to have it there. But now I've been kind of living with it as a normal cyclist and not doing 1000k in one go. And I think you kind of get used to having it. So when you're riding a bike that doesn't really have smartsense, which means there's an integrated light up front and a Garmin radar integrated in the back, you kind of feel a bit naked, or kind of, it just gives a bit of safety. I've started pretty much using lights whenever I go on a road ride, just for more visibility, and I think this bike, with having it integrated and just one battery, just makes everything so much easier. Yeah, so, and also it saved me a few times where I've done some long rides, and you kind of get caught out with the sun goes down, and then it's quite convenient that you can just press a button and then you have the lights with you at all times. I think overall it's great, and it's I've been kind of as I said, feel a bit naked without it. Of course, I think downside, you add 300 grams of battery. Of course, it's kind of placed down here in the bike, so you don't really you don't really feel it in the way the bike is handling, as is the point of gravity is still super low. But I think with the radar and all these systems, it's maybe, I don't know, probably around 400 grams extra that is kind of bolted to your bike, which you can ride without it. You can take the battery out and then put like regular SRAM batteries in. Right now it's wired, so I think this is probably the only bikes in the world with SRAM wired axis. So that's that. It's kind of, I think the next iteration would be of the next iteration of the smartsense system would be nice if you would somehow be able to kind of click the items off, the lights, the radar, and take the battery out and just use it as a normal bike. But at the same time, I've been doing kind of the fastest group rides in and around Copenhagen with this setup, with these tires, with everything, and it's been fine. Of course, probably if you go on a full all-out race bike, you would be able to save a bit of weight and watts. But to be honest, I think unless you're riding the World Tour or maybe Cat 1 racing or something like that, you will be able to feel the difference. But at the same time, I'm also a huge performance geek, and I love kind of optimizing my setup. That's also why I'm gonna kind of do some tweaks on the bike for the 500k tomorrow, because I know, although it might be kind of below what I can kind of perceive, like tire rolling resistance is just like 10 watts for free, basically, by swapping out the tires to something that rolls a bit faster. I think from previous research, when I did the fastest known amateur mountain bike thing, every one tooth you add to the front chainring is about 0.5 watts. So by going from a 46 to a 52, that's 6 teeth. So that is about 2 watts or something like that. No, 1.5 watts, sorry, I think. Math. Anyway, it's more or less insignificant, but still kind of all these small marginal gains add up. And I think my setup for tomorrow is 10 watts on the wheels, or on the tires, sorry. The wheels, I run these because it's pretty much the fastest wheel that you can get, and it also, the wheel is optimized for a 30 mil tire, so it's gonna be the fastest setup aerodynamically and also rolling resistance wise. Yeah. I think I can also just quickly touch on the wheels. Actually, we were supposed to ride these on the Stockholm to Bergen ride, but unfortunately they didn't arrive in time, so now I've just been using it for riding on the road. And it's you'll fly with these. You can definitely feel like once you're up to speed and you kind of go past that 35k an hour, you're really just like slicing through the air. I think the free hop is insanely loud. And I think especially when doing like longer stuff or ultra races, I would probably quiet that down a bit, because at least I get a little bit insane from listening to that for a full day. I think for tomorrow it'll be fine. It's mostly flat, so I won't really be coasting that much. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so I think other than that, tomorrow I'll add the Apidura aero system thing, and it's gonna be 25 degrees and sun, so I'll be wearing like I bought a hydration base layer, so you can have a bladder in the back, and I wear that underneath my skin suit. So I think I'll be able to put a half-liter bidon in this one and a 1-liter one in this one. I also did that for the 130k gravel race I did, because I didn't plan to stop. I think tomorrow I plan to do 2 main stops, and then I have a ferry crossing which is 25 minutes, so hopefully I can stop at a gas station just before, just quickly grab some stuff, and then I can eat it on the ferry. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think now I just get to work and get the bike ready for tomorrow. The sun rises at 4:25, so I had to get up at 4 and just get eat some breakfast, and then go get kitted up, and then go out the front door and start riding, pretty much. Now I think I will start. I might also wax the chain if I have time, but it's already waxed, but it could probably use like a fresh coat. But let's start with the wheels and get that done first, because that's always that is the most annoying thing. What else have I done with this bike? I also brought it to Wanda last year for the World Championships, and did like a gravel mixed surface ride around Wanda. Would probably have preferred I was running the 40 mil Terra Speed. Could have used like at least 45s, 50s would also have been nice, because there was some quite chunky gravel here and there, but kinda it worked, and I think that probably is the word for this bike, is that it works. Like, I think the perfect description is like jack of all trades, master of none, but it's kind of like a really good jack. It will get the job done. Just gonna slot the battery in here. You can see it's pretty simple. You just take it here. It's like let's show it to you here. Let's see. And it's just have this little USB-C thing, and you just slot it in. You have this kind of rail, and then pretty simple. Yeah, just goes into here like this. Then it will light green down here. Just charged it, so it's ready for tomorrow. And then the light starts flashing here and in the front automatically. And to turn it off, you just hold, there's a little button up here. Just hold that for 3 seconds and then it turns off. And to turn it on, 3 seconds, and then you have light. And you can cycle through the different modes by pressing this button also. Yeah. Oh, just to get. There we go. I think also this tire, I found out, I hadn't really checked, but it is quite heavy. It's almost 500 grams per tire. So yeah, that's also quite a lot of weight to be dragging around. When you could do something like the 30 mil or 32 even, I was running that before. And that was, you can feel it's a little sluggish with this setup, but at the same time for all-round training, I think it's perfect. Of course, then like it's a good training tire, and then you can change it for racing. As I'm not racing per se tomorrow, but kind of when you want the extra performance, then you can get that. More thing I also changed was I'm using the click valves now from Schwalbe, I think, who makes them. And it's not the click valve, I wouldn't really say it's an upgrade per se, but I think it's super nice. Instead of you have to doing the twisting thing with the old Presta valves, here you can just, usually when I pump my tires, it's the last thing I do before going out the door, and it's usually when I'm in a hurry because I need to meet up with some friends. And with the click valve, you just like put it on, pump, and then you jack it off again, and then you're ready to roll. And it's just like a small convenient thing, and it's more air going in and stuff. It's good, I like it, although you have to use some adapters and bring some spare adapters to just to make sure that you can actually pump your tires. I think I also have in my repair kit with me, I have normal Presta valves, so I can just take these out and put Presta valves in if I ever need to. Just make sure. Anyway, I'll go swap the tires and be right back. Okay, tires have been changed. I think I'll just leave them here. Just gave them a little wash to get rid of a little sealant, which it's always gets all over the place. So next gonna change the front chainring to a 52 and also get the chain off, clean that, give it a rinse and some wax. There it is. Oops. It's already been waxed once, so it's should be pretty fast, but it's a while ago, and tomorrow I want to be sure I'm not getting a less than optimal drivetrain. So yeah, gonna rinse it, put it in some Ceramic Speed Ultra wax, and then put it back on when we also have a bigger chainring on, and hopefully the chainring size won't conflict too much with the size or the length of the length the chain needs to be. We'll see. Okay, with the chain out of the way, let's get the crank set out. Okay, need to get this down to be able to put some pressure on. It's also first time checking. Oh, yeah. The ceramic speed BB after, since I installed it before Stockholm Bergen, and I don't know, you can see it's pretty damn smooth as butter still, so that's good. One thing that I forgot to mention about changing out to a single chainring in the front, which is bigger, which gains me about 1.5 watts, is no front derailleur, which should also be, I don't know, 2 watts or something in aerodynamics. So I'll take that. Now it's just about putting the 52 on and getting the front derailleur off. See, now we're talking. I bought this 52 chainring for kind of general riding in Denmark because it's usually quite flat. So you don't really need that many gears, and I could save a few watts, and I think it looks pretty cool, so that was kind of the idea. There we go. Okay, chainring is ready, but I think I need to take the front derailleur off first before I can fit it. And the thing is, it's a wired system, so basically I have to tape the front derailleur battery, or like battery adapter, I think is probably the right word, to somewhere here just to get it out of the way, because it is, you can't really get rid of it, or then you would have to fiddle with the electronics in the bike, and I don't want to do that. That's kind of, that's beyond my my home mechanic capabilities. But this I am quite comfortable with. I must say I have also been considering doing like the SRAM 13-speed Explorer group set on this bike, because I think as an all-road bike it's pretty ideal because you have so much range and it's super simple setup, and like the spacing on the gears is quite similar to the 1036 cassette, which is standard on the bike. It's just the last 2 gears is a 38 instead of a 36, and then it jumps to the 46 at the easiest gear. And for me, like the jumps in the small gears are the same, and then the last 2 jumps are a bit steeper, but you also probably want that when you are riding in that at that speed. So yeah. All right. I actually don't know what the max chainring is for this bike. Maybe I can't even fit this. Let's see. Let's see. I should be okay. Front chainring is on. It's getting late. I should be in bed now, but that's always how it is. But chains are ready, or the chain I waxed a few others while I was at it. So gonna put that back on, put the wheels on, then gonna put the bags on, and then I'm gonna get all my kit and nutrition ready, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So let's get that done. Chain is still a little hot actually. There we go. These tires, they look so skinny when you're used to like something that measures 37, but it's gonna be fast. And tomorrow it's only 500k on the road, so I think comfort is, of course it's important, but the frame will take care of most of that. And then I think these tires, they measure at least 32, so it's not a like skinny tire per se. But I think now the bike is kind of ready. I'm just gonna put the bags on and then clean up the mess that you can see on the floor here. Yes, I'm just gonna put my GPS device on, the Chorus Dura, which we got sponsored for the Stockholm Bergen trip. Emil, the guy who's riding it, he had a hookup, and I've been pretty happy with it. I had a few like firmware, like software hiccups where it's just shut down out of nowhere, which was a bit annoying, but that hasn't happened for quite a long time now, so seems to be working, and battery just keeps on trucking forever. For Stockholm Bergen, I had 25% left when we arrived after 66 hours on the road. So that's pretty crazy, and that was not in like sunny conditions. So this is the bag I'll be using. Not that much light now, but you kind of get the idea. Epidural, arrow thing. Super neat. I would like the closing here to be a bit bigger. Can be a bit narrow when you have to get in there during a long ride, but at the same time it's super light, and it makes the bike more aero, which I like. Should give me a few watts also tomorrow. Take this little cap off, and then you can bolt on the top tube back. Just screw this on. All right, snacks with easy access and more aero. What's not to like? And I'll just grab the bidons I'll be using. This is not the most aesthetic setup, but it works. 1 liter in the back and 500 milliliters in the back. Usually I'm running the Cannondale Aero bidons, but tomorrow I need maximum capacity. So I have 1 liter in the back and 500 here, and those will be my drink mix. So I'll be carrying around 300 grams of carbs in those, and then I'll have 1.5 liter of pure water on the back. Hopefully that will carry me the first 160k until my first stop, and then after that I have another 150 until the next, and then I have the ferry crossing, and then 110 from there. So it's kind of like 150 kilometer stretches, or breaking up into 150. So that should be kind of on the limit, but I think when I'm stopping, I'm gonna refill everything and drink as much as possible before moving on. I'm planning to do like 10-minute stops, so it's gonna be quite efficient. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pack the rest of the stuff. Basically, the plan is to consume like 90 grams of carbs per hour, and most of it will be solids the first half, and then from there I think I'll gradually just go over to more gels and drink mix. And then the plan is for the ferry, stop at a gas station like 10 kilometers out, and then grab some real food, and then bring that to the ferry where I have 25 minutes of sitting, and then get something like real to eat. And then from there I have 110k home. So yeah, that's it. I think I'll do like a separate video vlog kind of thing from the actual ride. I'm gonna do a solo, and I haven't really told anybody that I'm gonna do it, and I haven't really planned. It was quite spontaneous yesterday. I decided that maybe it could be fun. It's been a long time since I've done like some really long riding myself, so I kind of been missing that solo experience of just going at your own pace, not really having to worry or think about anybody else. So looking forward, and I think also with the fresh tires and the 1x setup, I think I'll be flying and with the bags as well. So yeah, looking forward, but catch you on the road. Ciao.